let's take the chat further. Let's try to understand what exactly is happening here in India with regards to the climate change. Joining me on the broadcast is Director General of TERI, Dr. Vibha Dhawan, and Sector Head Climate Change and Sustainability IPE Global, Abhinash Mohanty. Thank you so much for speaking to News9, both of you. Dr. Vibha, first coming to you, let's first speak about how exactly the climate change as well as the infrastructural developments are going to affect the Himalayas.
Well, if you ask me, it's quite scary, and we are already noticing the impact of climate change, which is far uglier than what was predicted by IPCC. The worst part is that while we are understanding it, we are still going ahead with infrastructure development far more than the carrying capacity of our hills. Those are eco-sensitive zones, and therefore we need to look into how much of construction should be permitted over there. The other thing is, let's also take it that it's not only what kind of activities we are carrying out over there, it's the global impact. We are talking of the changing climate, and really speaking, few years back, 5 years back or so, that is the time we said that the increase in temperature should be curved at 1.5 degrees maximum. But the reality is that we have already reached that limit of 1.5, and now we are saying maybe 2 degrees, maybe even higher than that. And let me explain to you, it is not just increase in global temperature, it's the extreme. And this particular incident, unfortunate incident that has happened is the melting of glaciers. So what happens, like glaciers, they give you almost 1/3 of water that comes from the melting of glaciers, and that's how during the summer months also our rivers have water. Now, if the glacier melting is there, then what's going to happen to the water supply during summer months? So that is already the water scarce area where there is going to be lesser and lesser of water than there is going to be water scarcity all over the country. And it is again not just water scarcity. The rivers, they rejuvenate themselves, and there is microbes which are present over there, which keeps on cleaning. And as the water flow decreases, even that activities get impacted, and therefore the pollution level can go up. So therefore we are talking in terms of availability of water in years to come. We are talking about the pollution levels which may go up. We are talking about climate change with which our agriculture is going to suffer.
Right.
And these are the communities which, really speaking, have no risk-taking capacity, and unfortunately, they are the ones who are going to be impacted the most.
Right, right. Dr. Vibha, please continue to stay on with us. Abhinash, we've discussed what exactly how, the impacts are going to be on the Himalayas. Let's also talk about how exactly and how badly the Gangetic plains are going to be impacted because of all the climatic changes we are, noticing and discussing from past couple of months.
Absolutely. Good afternoon to everyone. Climate change, nobody is insulated. What Dr. Dhawan has just highlighted, one event leading from one to the other is what we call it as cascading impacts. At IP Global, we have been establishing climate risk observatories, and these climate risk observatory at a pan-India level, what we could find out that 85% of Indian districts are extreme event hotspots, which rightly suggests that all of these 85% districts, which is home to more than 90% of our population, is impacted every 3 days, one of the other kind of extreme event. So whether it is heavy rainfall, cyclone, flood, drought, so on, so forth. And now what we are seeing are a string of extreme events hitting us one after the other. Now, when the climate change is there, the impact is not just going to be on your climate or on your ecosystems. It is largely ravaging lives, livelihood, and economies. Agriculture is most impacted, but beyond agriculture, it is also the other kind of sectors which are impacted the large. If you have to put numbers again into perspective, then India is going to lose more than 30 million jobs by 2030. And this is only because of the temperature rise, the extreme heat waves. Now, extreme heat waves also leads to, or if you have a rise in temperature, then that also leads to some of the incessant and erratic rainfall events. And we recently did a study where we tried to find out the correlation between how much of temperature rise is fueling some of these flash floods, incessant rainfall, erratic rainfall across Indian subcontinent, and we could find that almost 78% of the incessant erratic rainfall um, uh, events were happened in Uttarakhand, to name few, across Kerala, across Tamil Nadu, so north, south, east, west, all across. If you look at, then there are hotspots where you will see a rise in temperature leading to this incessant erratic rainfall, and as a result, once you have these incessant erratic rainfall events, they lead to flash floods. You already ecosystems like that of Uttarakhand, the fragile Himalayan ecosystems, it's already fragile, and on top of it, once you have all of these extreme events hitting up, you actually end up in managing a disaster which was supposed to be an event.
Right.
Landslides plus avalanches combined together with extreme rainfall and snowfall, that's a deadly disaster that we are dealing with at this point of time, and that is what climate change is triggering, not just in Uttarakhand but beyond
Right.
Uttarakhand as well.